Hello, everybody. Myself, Anurag Pathak. So I welcome all you there in the session of Mission 5000. So it is an attempt to give you and facilitate you with an all support so that you can make an attempt to write in a 5000 answer before your next mains. Now, why so? So that when you're going to write 5000 times some answers, not one answer, like a different answer, it's going to sharpen your thinking. So that looking at the next question after 5000, automatically it's going to happen looking question, the structure of the answer will be open to you. And every time within every question, we give you the new tips, new idea, so that you can write your answer logically on the basis of critical thinking. So we have a list of points where you can see the benefit you're going to derive from this process. So that we're going to discuss in a later part of this session. Now, to tell you in more in depth and detail how this Mission 5000 works, I'm going to explain you with the reference of the one of the question. It is derived from the previous year's question, PYQ of UPSC Mains. Now, we have one question on Ambedkar Social Innovation Incubation Mission, which got started in 2020. Now look at this question. Question says, evaluate the success and limitation of the Ambedkar Social Innovation Incubation Mission in fostering entrepreneurship among SC/ST youth. Now this is my guarantee. Not guarantee, this is my belief, and prove me wrong if I am wrong. 90% of the student will fail to identify the real demand of the question. If you have this thinking, stop this video for a while and put your point in a comment box and then revisit again and then compare, like you have the same point before and after my explanation or a different. So 90% of you will believe that this question is on ASIIM, Ambedkar Social Innovation Incubation Mission. It is not a prime demand of the question. It is a secondary demand. So what is a prime demand? The prime demand is fostering entrepreneurship. Fostering. Now, what is that prime demand? No? And not only we need to tell how to foster, how it is fostering, we need to evaluate. Now, this is the purpose of this session, is to guide you how to write questions, answer. If the question comes with evaluate, right? Because I have seen there is a deep misunderstanding among the student. They think if the question is on analysis or evaluate or critical examine, all content going to be by and large same. But there is a radically and very fine line though, but there is a radically different structure for the questions, answers, which has a different, this keywords, no? Evaluate. So we'll see. Now, as I said, the question key demand is fostering entrepreneurship. So we must have the idea what is entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship, as you know, it is an attempt of taking risk and to turn ideas into some meaningful goods, and through in terms of the product, services, and technology. And this entrepreneurship also has some other dimensions. It depends on investment revenue and a market share. It has a social dimensions where it has a potential to change, make social change, and include marginalized section into the mainstream. And then it depends on the technological dimensions in terms of the AI digital platform and all. Cultural dimensions also, it has a potential to lead cultural value into economic value. And it also depends, its success and its features also is guided by the institutional dimensions, like how government scheme supports and how this process is getting benefited from venture capital and all. Now, the question also has a word. When you see we have an incubation. So how ASIIM incubation is supporting the making entrepreneurship successful. Now we need to know what is incubation actually. When the child get birth, it is suddenly kept into some careful unit box. We have a light and all. So that is what is known as incubation in hospital. We do not let the new baby to be exposed to the surrounding that fast. So there's a process of letting open to the surrounding. So that is how we have an incubation. Now, what is an incubation? It is a structured support. Now, why? To let somebody's idea to turn into a business, and it is like a kind of a nursery to the startups. Now, why we have incubation? Like it has been seen that many of the startups get failed into their in their this early phase. right? And that is how this is aimed to control this failure rate, right? So, and to let new ideas to translate into meaningful business. And there are different ways incubation comes into play: physical incubation, virtual, or like by sector specific, tech specific. It has a many key components, like it helps in infrastructure, funding, mentorship, networking, that way. Okay. Now, what defines the success of fostering entrepreneurship? The success of entrepreneurship depends on access to the finance. I'm just giving you this clue so that you can deeply understand now what is the real demand of the question. So, success of entrepreneurship depends on when access to the venture capital, seeds funding, low interest rate loans, you know, like we have a Mudra loan and all. Then it also depends on how do we have the market linkages, what infrastructure is helping them to come and bring their product to the market, what mentorship and handholding support we have in terms of tech, legal, and the understanding social context and all. Then it also depends, like the success also depends on in terms of the market sorry, in terms of the infrastructure, how co-working is available, right? So that things could be managed in a low cost, digital support, skill development, like how the financial literacy and the business counseling supporting the some businesses, policy support, like what government policies are and how much it is giving a benefit and all. So knowing this all, you have to create a blueprint. And this is what is the marvelous technique. Do what? My suggestion, rather than making notes, for mains, collect questions. On the basis of the questions, keep one page blueprint strategy. No? For one topic, our mission 5000 will give you a lot more questions per topic. And so that when you're going to make your notes question based, blueprint based notes, it will help you to open so much so that you can going to write an informed answer. So this blueprint comprises of 8 boxes. 8 boxes means the every box represent one paragraph. Now, um, now what is this paragraph means? Like, see, suppose if you are writing an answer in a 250 words, so my suggestion is to write in 30 words, right? 30 words. So if you are writing in a 30 words, even you are writing in a paragraph wise or point wise, this will going to support. So just have some rough work here. Yeah, okay, in intro I'll write this definition or this dimensions, that way, right? In here I will going to write a themes and there some introductory remark, and then we're going to see the case studies wise. I'll write this, I'll design this diagram here. So plan your paragraph or dimensions. No, I'll write this comment. I'm going to make this analysis here, and making a pre-plan of your answer, then attempt an answer, right? Keeping a 30 words, so it will come around 8 boxes, so 240, so that you can manage everything in a prescribed words. And believe me, I know, and I'm confirmed, if you're crossing a limit beyond some margin, 10% they have an all chance to give you the penalty marks. Deduction. It is not they are not going to give the marks, they are going to cut marks. No? Penalty marks system is there. So it is adhere within a word limit. Now, question is evaluate, and that is what the main aim of the program is, to let you learn what is the meaning of evaluate. Okay. So evaluation means when you ask us teachers, sir, give me the evaluation, your evaluation, where my answer like fit. It is the best answer, or it is the average answer, or it is an ordinary answer. So what you ask while asking an evaluation, you ask rank 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 means best answer, or like it is an average answer, or it is an ordinary answer, right? So see, evaluation means ranking. Ranking. Give a rank to my, and when we have the copies are evaluated, results declared in terms of the ranking in school time, right? That is the way you have to make a ranking here. Now, ranking of what? Attempts of Ambedkar Social Innovation Incubation Mission. So, how they have attempted and what is their result, and on the basis of the outcome, you have to rank. Now, how to find out what is their attempt and where we have an attempt? And this is where the Mission 5000 will help you in supporting you to read too much of the case studies derived from down to earth derived from this EPW, Economic Political Weekly, some good popular magazines, because such type of questions you can't handle within an NCERT, and neither from any institute's study material, because it is not institute to blame, because they are making you from right from the zero, lifting your standard so that you can have some basic understanding about the subject. So it is in a foundational part, institution plays their role. So that is why you aren't going to get this type of uh, content. And this type of content you'll get from the toffee notes, which is in a sub part of the Mission 5000, right? To get an access to this, you have to get enrolled. And to get enrolled, you have a number mentioned. I have mentioned already number. I'll re-mention again. Okay. Now we have to evaluate. Now, evaluation here means, as I said, we need to make a ranking. Out of these case studies and the detailed case studies, you'll see later, next part, like which case study you think is the best case study. So suppose you said, I think it is in a Odisha one is in a rank 1, and this IIT Kanpur is a rank 2, and then this one is a 3rd, and that one is in a worst, and this is okay, and that one in the 5th. So this, when you rank something and justify, now justification in terms of success as well as limitation, you have to tell, like why you believe that this is the first one. And if it is, then okay, you have to elaborate the success feature, and then you have to tell what are the further limitation, right? So that is how we need to justify. Now, let us see. When you take an attempt, and in a topic notes, you'll get these case studies given in terms of some background and some data government related reports. Like here we have SSIC's annual impact report of ASIIM related. Those reports are available in the website of the ministry, but we have compiled it for you, made it very easy for you, right? Though derived from the government sites itself, okay, but despite this, you will find things are so much become handy for you, so that one page is enough to understand about the case study one. So you have to start this way, like as I said, if you understand the demand of the question, that is how you're going to begin your answer. If you think that it is in a question on ASIIM, you will start writing in a definition and then what date it got incorporated. But though the question is on a fostering of entrepreneurship, you will do what? You will set in a standard here. You will say the success of the entrepreneurship depends on access to fund, right? Now, and then networking, then infrastructure, robustness, and then we have a mentorship, government schemes in their penetration. And in this ground, ASIIM has made an attempt by having a collaboration with list of these institutions, right? With their incubation, which is what? Structured support to give these all facilities. Now, doing so, you have prepared a dimension, parameter, right? What is parameter? Parameter is a kind of a yardstick, a measuring standard, so that now you're going to rank which has achieved what rank, right? And that is how in the last video, when you'll see yesterday on in the earlier videos, we have discussed about examine. If the question will come from the examine. In examine, we have to see the deviation from the objectives. In evaluation, we need to make a ranking of the different attempts. Now, let us suppose if you have thought, you have this understanding that IIT Kanpur is the best one. Now, why IIT Kanpur is the best one, you have to justify. If you go and see this report, we have a detail given, like it is in a KIIT-TBI startup got started, which supports a different drone basis intervention in the farming. And due to that, it has a potential to get scale up. So you have to give this, this KIIT-TBI has this potential. And because it has a potential to scale up, like a fostering scale up, that is why it is in a best. But like you have to tell the limitation also, though it is given here as a hint. So it has a potential to scale up. It means, see, it is written that democratization potential is there. It can very soon become access to all. Democratic in entrepreneurship is there, but it has an initial challenge. Why? Because it costs more. In as far as village level capacity, it is not affordable now. No? So this is an initial limitation we have. A cost effective is an issue here. Same way, you have to take in a next paragraph, next case studies. So as you have made in a blueprint regarding the introduction, you have set in a parameter, you have given us some like a seems hint here. Right? So with the help of the SCUs, they have created a startup, and with that, this success and that potential and that limitation. Okay. Now we have KIIT-TBI Odisha. Here they have done what? They made an eco-tribe naturals startup where the tribal women got chance to make their cultural induced product into a meaningful business product, right? So you have to make an attempt to appreciate move. Why? Because now we have a cultural entrepreneurship is now in the play, and with that it made an entrepreneur inclusion. Tribal women were not as a part of the entrepreneurship, but it is the inclusiveness, है ना? And because of this inclusiveness, this is very much important. Why? Because traditional value turned into a commercial value and helped to change their social stigma sort of for the tribal communities. But you have to tell that there is some issues. No? So every time you have to say some how the issues were solved, entrepreneurial issues were solved, challenges solved, due to this attempt, and then what are the limitation. Then you have to tell yes, language is still in a barrier because in tribal communities, every next group are having a different sort of language. So that way you have to move. No? You have to make a rough structure here. Same way you're going to see the next Hyderabad, T Hub Hyderabad. There also you have to tell like in Hyderabad we have an after making some notes here. So you have to make another side Hyderabad related. What is there in a Hyderabad? T Hub Hyderabad. There again we have a Quick Aid is the name of Quick Aid is the name of this startup which runs on AI mode, and that is where we have an because it is working in AI. It is a sunrise industry, latest industries, so it has an potential to grow because it's the most modern startup, but it has their own problem. Why? Because it is an urban specific, right? Urban specific. So turning into rural one is a challenging one. That way you have to move, right? This way you have to move and study this case studies, and then only you can write. So this is what like a kind of an injustice with you. Now you need to have some access to this type of report. You can manage yourself also, but we made things handy. Now you cannot manage this answer by having a content of foundation. So you need to have a more informed ideas now. Now this way you'll find many more support. We have a case studies fourth. You have to read and make a rank which side you want to keep. Even this one you can put it here in a rank one, rank two. It's up to you. Now don't rely more. Be independent. Have a courage and have this confidence because you now going to rule country. So your decision matters. So you have to believe in your decisions. That way we have in a case studies 4, and then we have in a case studies 5. We have in a this Delhi University related ASIIM support. This way you have to move and make this rough structure, and then we need to make an attempt. So in this supportive case studies, you can have even a chance to write this and this question also. You can take an attempt and write and send us for the evaluation. With the same content you can write, and that is where I said one content has a potential to write a many n number of questions, similar questions, because it has information, random informations, so that you can tackle 2, 3, 4, and that is where we practice a student. With this much of this stuff, you can write 4, 5. So take this as one of your task and write, and then give a point here. Now let us join in mission 5000. In this number, you can text, and when you enroll to this, you'll get an access. Now, if you have a doubt whether my enrollment will going to be worth or not, and that is where we have some like a kind of an opportunity for you. You can even join this course with paying 14 rupees per week, because every Sunday we have a supreme test, Sunday supreme test. Now, what is that? If you opt for a one question, you'll get a one question test. Now, it is not we are sending you the question, you have to write an answer. It is a systematic like a support. What we'll do, we're going to give you the booklet first on certain question, full of case studies, and then we have a video supports, so that the what support you get now, exactly this way, you'll get some idea like how to see case studies, where to highlight, and then we'll help you to develop your blueprint. And with the help of that blueprint, you have to make an attempt. So you have a chance to write on a one test basis attempt, five tests, five questions. We have charges are different. It's a very nominal charge. What is it? It is a cost effective, like what cost we are getting, we are charging that much, no superficial charge. Then we have 10 questions, and that is where I prefer. You must have this attempt every Sunday, 10 questions. But our target is to make you all come and have 20 questions every day, like a 10 question in the morning, 10 question in the evening, so that if you write 20 question every day, by the time you're going to write an attempt, you can cross 5,000 plus 6,000 questions. And believe me, just try to anticipate if you have a 5,000 answer written with this much of the support, every answer you'll get a huge support. Like you're going to make some paradigm shift in your understanding. Think about the scenario when you have 5 questions, get ready, then what you will write, it's going to have a policy touch. So that is what our purpose is. Come and join, and let us have this process. And if you're going to come and commit and enroll in this, we have a certain price also, but there are certain rules you have to follow. Like a window will open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Anytime you can write, and you must give answer handwritten, right? No typed form. Answer must be in handwritten. And if it is there in the same day, you'll get you're liable to get a prize. But if you'll submit an answer next day, you have a chance, your copies will get properly evaluated, but you aren't going to have eligibility for prize. So in the end, why you must join Mission 5000? It is basically because we have a list of advantages, how it will convert your knowledge in a real-time exam like skills. Then critical thinking, that is what our tool is actually. We help you to, what is critical thinking? Finding some solution by breaking the causes so that you can pinpoint. If we have some terrorist attack, we're going to guide you how to think so that you can pinpoint why we have a certain things in the manner so that you can dig out a real solution for the country. You can serve country. Now your service depends on how better decision you take for the country, right? In some capacity. That is where the critical thinking will going to play an important role. And that is what UPSC intend to see in your answer, right? Your thinking. And why not? Like what is the conformity? This is the reason why question start with evaluate, examine, discuss, right? And when you're going to have a practice every day, you'll get a very precision in your expression, because there is a gap between what we think and what we write. Everyday practice will going to cover up this gap. And believe me, if you're going to come and join in this process, and more question you will write, more question bank you will going to create, bank. And if in the process, you will find that the content of the one answer is very supportive for the writing next answer. Okay. And that is where is our strength. Like you'll get a very detailed, right? Very supportive evaluation from our subject experts. So we have this much. This is a golden opportunity because you won't find any alternative in to this course, because you can find test series, but you won't find answer writing supported test series. And believe me, the answer you are going to create, it is incomparable. Like nowhere, no institute will going to give you that much of this quality standard support. So do join and take a litmus test, join for the short courses. It will be enough to understand what is the value you're going to derive from this